What's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody jumping in here, smashing those likes. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, and we're back for a Sunday update here on the markets as Bitcoin is getting ready to start making some big moves potentially tomorrow, Monday morning. You guys know that we have been talking about a potential push for Bitcoin up to about $107,000, almost $108,000, hitting a gold pocket and then having a major retracement back to the downside all the way down to $96,000. I know. Get excited. Get excited. Time to open up those shorts, right? Obviously, never financial advice. But yes, we are looking here for a big move. And obviously, if this move does play out, whether it plays out throughout this week or slowly starts to take effect and it starts to play out over the next 2 or 3 weeks, this major pullback, if it does happen, prepare your altcoin bags, guys, because the pain is going to be real. There is going to be a big pullback for the altcoins. So if you guys are coming in here, make sure you guys are tapping those screens. If you're over on TikTok, make sure you're tapping those screens, filling up that like meter. If you're over on YouTube, X, and everywhere else, make sure you guys are smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, and let's get rocking and rolling here. Make sure you guys are dropping everything into the chat as well. You guys don't want to miss out on the chat opportunities. There's always a good opportunity to drop a good question in there, and I will get to your question and I will answer it. So I appreciate everybody jumping in. Sack Nasty in the house. Jesse, what's going on? Good to see you guys. Are we about to moon to 125? Let's go take a look at the Bitcoin chart here. So right now, by zooming out here to the 4 hour, all right, the 4 hour on Bitcoin so far right now. Give me a quick little second here. Let me actually lower this a little bit. Make sure you guys don't get any of that background noise. Make sure I keep this nice and close to my face so you guys can hear me very well. All right, so overall right now for Bitcoin, right, we are seeming to look like it was trying to break out of this downward trend, right? This downward trend from the all-time high of 112. We've made a high, lower high, another lower high, another lower high, and currently here there's another lower high. Now, the breakout is potentially happening. We could potentially see this. This is part of the thesis, right? Everybody, a lot of people were long when we were up here. Then we came all the way down here to about 100,000. We lost this support. I bet a lot of people opened up shorts that end up stopped or liquidated at this point in time. Now, Monday morning is going to come in. All the real volume is going to come. And now that Bitcoin is sitting at 105,800, a lot of people are going to start joining in and go in long. And by going long right now at 105, they're going to get trapped. And here's why. Because we could have this big push to a 107,952, which is the gold pocket of the pullback from the highs of 112 down to 100,300, right? And everybody's like, oh, I'm in the money, right? We're going to run to a new all-time high. Like somebody just said, $125,000 incoming, right? And I want 125,000. I hope I'm wrong. I realistically hope I'm wrong. I'd rather go short at 107, jump into a trade, and have that trade stopped out, and Bitcoin actually pumps to 125,000 and the altcoins rally, because my long-term portfolio is going to benefit so much more from that than from the trade that I'm going to take, right? From the trade I'm going to take, I might make a few $1,000s, but it's going to benefit me so much more if Bitcoin goes to 125. So I want you guys to understand, I am not a bear. I don't want Bitcoin to drop. I'm just looking at what the data is telling me, and I'm saying this is what the data is telling me, that we could see a drop here, right? So I hope I'm wrong, but so we'll see how it plays out. I believe Bitcoin is going to pump up to 107,000, right? Hit this gold pocket. Maybe we go a little bit higher, give or take. But around this area, I'm going to be entering my short, and I definitely think that that's going to be the next big rejection, because once we come back down to retest this breakout, I think that it's going to fail, and it's going to drop back down to 100,000. People are going to start panicking. Everybody that's entering long up here is going to be trapped and losing money, getting stopped out or liquidated. And then obviously, once this area of support here is lost officially, we're going to come down to $96,000 Bitcoin. $96,000 Bitcoin, right? And it's going to once again decimate the altcoins. Crypto Cologne, what's going on? Good morning. Can you look up Natex network on Solana? I'll definitely take a look at that. Long from 68.3 and 81.3. You're long on Bitcoin from 68 and 81. Let's go, Jesse. This guy's a goat. 125K in July. Dude, I hope you're right, Sec Nasty. I hope you're right. And we do see $125,000 in July. I mean, I want you guys to understand that a drop down to 96,000 doesn't mean that we're going to be crushed down there for the next 4 or 5 months. It could be a quick drop. It could be a drop that happens and we're down there for maybe a week or two, and then we push right back up and we get some more bullish momentum to the upside, right? It doesn't have to be this prolonged process of a 3 to 6 month process of being down at 96,000. 96 can hold, right? And we don't have to come down to $80,000 to $90,000 down here, right? We don't have to. We could just bounce off this area. So we just have to take it level by level. I appreciate everybody jumping in here, smashing those likes. Let's go jump into some chat here. Let's go see. Somebody was asking about Natex Network. Let's go see Natex. Why does that sound familiar? Is that the one about the Elon thing with the Tesla cars? Is that what this is? It is a micro cap sitting at $29 million market cap. I think this is the one that supposedly is using Tesla cars to like mine the blockchain or whatever. I think so. Let's go take a look at the chart for Natex. Let it load up here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes. Keep filling up those like meters, guys. Keep filling up those like meters. Appreciate everybody. Might have a fake out, my opinion. Jesse, I agree. I do agree that I think Bitcoin is headed for a fake out, a fake rally to the upside, and then a pullback to the downside, down to 96,000. All right, this thing's been out for over a year now. Okay, no real data all throughout of Q1, just completely flat. So let's just start here with the month of May. Month of May here so far. We are back within the month of May range. Let's see here. Let's get some quarterlies. Everything's pretty much flat. Yeah, very flat price action. Let's go take a look at some monthlies. Yeah, also very flat. So right now, not too much we can do with this chart here. Not a lot of data to go based off of Natex here. Now a lot of price action has been very flat overall. But right now, we've had a nice little spike throughout the month of May, rallying. I'm sure a decent amount of hundreds of percent at this point in time, from down here to all the way up here. Rallied over 287%. Now we've pulled back, right? We've pulled back from up here to where we're currently at right now, about 36, 37%. If we keep pulling back here, or do we have we do have a naked point of control down at 0.00071. So that is a pretty steep pullback overall for Natex. If we can get above the 0.001, we're getting back above the monthly average. Obviously, there's some resistance up here in these areas. Not too much TA we can do on this one, so sorry, buddy. But overall, got to keep an eye on that one. I think that's the one that they're using Teslas to like mine some stuff. And I don't know. It's a microcap, very high risk project. So be very, very careful out here. Somebody's asking about Sui. So let's go take a look at Sui. Sui right now, as you guys can see right here, is down 2.3% today, down 18.1% on the month, sitting at $10 billion market cap. Where is good old Sui going? Let's go take a look at the Sui chart here. Sui. All right. Sui out here on the daily. Once again, very simple here. We are holding, we have reclaimed this support zone between $3.03 to about $3.19. We're still holding this area here. If Bitcoin, obviously all very dependent on Bitcoin, wherever Bitcoin goes, altcoins will follow. If Bitcoin does continue to pull back, right, and we lose, it's probably going to cause Sui to lose this area of support between $3.19 to $3.03. Our target within the April range is this gold pocket of 262. If that gold pocket does not hold and we have a very steep correction for Bitcoin, leading to a very steep correction for altcoins in general. Let me get rid of this line. I don't know why this line's still here. This doesn't need to be here either. Very steep correction to the downside is going to be $2.20, which is the April monthly naked point of control. So those are the levels to the downside for Sui if Bitcoin pulls back. Now to the upside for Sui, right, we need to get above $3.31. Has been acting as some resistance as of lately. Above that, we have $3.53, which is right at the value area low. It's an untapped monthly average. and it's right at the value area low for May. Once we can get above 353 and we re-enter the month of May range, targets to the upside are 388 to 390. Now, once we're up here, right, we're going to face some resistance as we saw here back on May 8th all the way to about May 22nd. A lot of resistance trying to break into the $4 range area. If we can sustain $4 and hold above $4.08 and hold that area of support, our main target to the upside within the $4 range is $4.81. Above that, we're pretty much going to go back towards the all-time high of $5.37. And from there, we're price discovery mode all the way. So we'll see here about SUI, how far it can go. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes this here. How's the M2 money chart versus Bitcoin comparison looking? I haven't been keeping a very close eye on that. Just for the simple fact that those are fractals, right? And a fractal is just basically when you lay out one chart above another chart that is two different assets and it has a similar pathway. Those play out sometimes, but they're very erratic. They're very not sustainable in the long term. So yes, the money to supply, right, is going up right now. And everyone's just like, oh, money to supply goes up, Bitcoin goes up, it's going to follow it exactly. I don't like falling into those narratives. I don't like falling into those narratives because that M2 supply thing has gone way too mainstream. Everyone knows about the M2 money supply thing. And it's just once something is so mainstream that everyone is talking about it, everyone is following it, that's how the market makers get you, right? That's how the market makers get you. And at some point, there's going to be a deviation that nobody's going to expect it, and it's going to come out of nowhere, and it's going to get people wrecked. So that's why I don't follow it. And it's just simple fact that it's a fractal. There's not a lot of, I'd rather go off volume and see what's actually happening on the chart and not just going off some, very biased thesis where it's like, okay, we want Bitcoin to pump and then we see the M2 money supply increasing. We all know that more liquidity is coming. We all know that the money printer is going to be turned back on. Why do I say this? Well, we know that they want interest rates to come down, right? We know they want interest rates to come down. They're pressuring Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. They're even talking about replacing Jerome Powell, right? Jerome Powell himself is not the problem. The system works the way it's meant to work, right? It's not the greatest. It's definitely not the greatest. It's a whole lot of fugazi. But guess what? A new chairman ain't gonna make any big difference. But interest rates will be cut at some point, whether it's in June, right, in the FOMC meeting later this week or later this month, or sometime later in Q4 of this year. At some rate, interest rates will be cut. We also know, we've seen our good old Mr. Cheeto Man coming out and talking about agreeing with Elizabeth Warren about getting rid of the debt ceiling. Getting rid of the debt ceiling. What does that tell you? If they're talking about getting rid of the debt ceiling, both sides of both parties are now talking about getting rid of the debt ceiling. What does that mean? That means infinite money. We don't have to be talking about budgets, and we don't have to be talking about, oh, who's increasing spending and who's no. There's no more debate about spending because there is no limit to the debt. It can just go on forever and ever and ever and ever. We've already seen the big beautiful bill and how it's pretty much getting rid of everything that the Doge has accomplished in the first year, right? So we know that spending is going to increase. We know that they're going to turn the money printer on to be able to pay for all the spending that they're going to do. And that's only a matter of time before Bitcoin skyrockets. Bitcoin has had the greatest price appreciation over the last decade during quantitative easing. In the last 5 years, we've been experiencing quantitative tightening, and Bitcoin has still astronomically been outperforming almost every single asset in the world. So right now, when this quantitative easing begins again, it's only a matter of fact. It's only a matter of time before Bitcoin skyrockets. So, yeah, appreciate all of you guys jumping in here. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me. Let's see here. So you're saying 109 is not in the near future? Digital, Dave Digital, what's going on, man? So yes, look, for Bitcoin, going back to the Bitcoin chart here. All right, going back over here to the Bitcoin chart. Let's jump over to the 1 hour. Let's jump out to the 4 hours. Too many candles there. Want to keep this nice. All right. So look, right now we are within the previous week range. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we will be getting a new weekly range data, new weekly average, new weekly range, all this stuff, which I will be updating the Crypto Citadel about, and we're going to be keeping a very close eye on, right? I have not entered any trades because I do believe we are going to have a breakout of this downtrend as we're seeing it right now. And we're going, being back within the previous week range, our two targets to the upside are this gold pocket of 107,952, right? And this gold pocket comes from the all-time high of $112,000 Bitcoin to the current low of $100,396. There's the gold pocket, 107.92. Above that, which is within the previous week range right now, we do have a weekly naked point of control at 109,646. So are we going to instantly get rejected off this gold pocket or push to 109 and get rejected again? I don't know. I am betting that's going to happen somewhere around this gold pocket. 109 is probably an area that a lot of people are looking at. This gold pocket might not be something that a lot of people are paying attention to. Also, on these breakouts, right? You people, traders are waiting for the confirmation. So most time we're going to miss the breakout. It's going to break out. It's going to pump. It's going to come back, right? So it could pump up to this gold pocket. And on the retest for this breakout, when it comes back down, the retest could fail. And it just breaks right through the support and it comes down. And there is where people are going to get trapped because a lot of people are going to start going long as we break out of this area going into 107, thinking we're going to 109 or to 125,000. And people start rallying into the longs, and that's how the longs are going to get trapped. And then we pull back down. That's my thesis. We'll see if it plays out or not. I'm in a long, LFG. Let's go, Dave Digital. I'm always long on Bitcoin. But I do think we're going to have this potential, rejection here and push us down to 96,000. But we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Appreciate everybody jumping in here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes. What is the best options trading app in your opinion? I don't trade options. I trade futures with Bitcoin mostly. So I just use things like ZoomX, BitUnix, and Blowfin to trade. If you're trading options or you're trading something else in the stock market, can't really help you too much on that. What coins can I buy now to keep for long? Ashes of Love. Great question, right? Everybody wants to know what altcoins should I buy right now? Well, the question is, in reality, it's a very difficult question to answer because it all depends on your risk tolerance. What type of portfolio are you setting up? Do you even know what risk tolerance is? You know how much risk management you're going to be dealing with, right? How much risk are you going to be taking? Most people, right, like me, would rather take 50% of low risk using at least 50% of my portfolio into Bitcoin, right? Maybe 15 to 20% into Ethereum, and then the rest into altcoins. And different altcoins have different levels of risk. So you got to start with high cap altcoins like Solana, BNB, XRP, Injective, Radium, BitTensor, Tau, stuff like that are in the multi-billions of dollars, right? And then start going lower and lower. The lower the market cap, the higher the risk. The higher the risk, the higher probability of making a lot of money, but a higher probability of also losing that money. So you have to be very careful and strategic with how much of your own capital you put into those high-risk plays. Some people are just all micro caps, all high risk, right? Which I personally do not recommend, nor do I think that's a smart idea or will I personally ever do. But, everyone's different, so it really depends. Also depends on where we're at in the market. Right now, we're kind of like in this stagnant, like nobody really knows, are we going to pump? Are we going to dump, right? I would wait for a major retracement. I would wait for that drop down to 96,000. Maybe we don't get it. And if we don't get it, you're going to get caught off guard. You're not going to get a good position. And that's something you have to deal with. You have to deal with the fact that, hey, sometimes you're just going to have to let it play out. You're going to have to miss out and wait for a pullback. Quick little story on how that happened to me. Back in 2017, I saw Bitcoin rallying from 1,000 to 5,000. I saw it go all the way up to 20,000 by the end of 2017, right? Did I buy Bitcoin in 2017? No, because I knew I had missed out. I had FOMO. I wanted to buy it, but I knew that I had missed out the main rally. I didn't know where the top was going to be. I didn't know when it was going to pull back. I thought it was never going to pull back. So I started buying some other things, right? I bought Ethereum at like $200. I bought Cardano at like 2 cents. I bought other assets, right, that had not been performing as much just yet. That being said, I still bought into those assets relatively high. Long story short, I waited into 2018, and eventually Bitcoin had a 50% retracement, and then an even larger retracement, dropping down to like 75%, right? Dropping from 20,000 down to 10, and then from 10 it dropped all the way down to about as low as like $5,000. And I used that time to dollar cost average and build my position in Bitcoin. I didn't let the FOMO get to me and buy up. And yes, I missed the rally to 20, but guess what? I caught the next rally all the way up to 69, and then I've caught this rally up to 100, right? So I'm already positioned. It's all about timing, and it's all about spending time in the market, and you can't FOMO in. So right now, I personally am not buying anything. I do have a lot of altcoins that I like, right? Maker, Aave, Pendo, Lido, Uniswap, Ondo, Aerodrome, BitTensor Tau, Hype, Radium, ENA, let's see here, Cake, Virtuals, Render. There's a lot of different altcoins that I like a lot. Quant, and that I hold positions with Caspa, and I hold positions in, but I'm currently not dollar cost averaging right now. Right now, if we see a drop down to 96,000 or lower, then I will be dollar cost averaging. If you don't have any position right now, then you need to be very aware that whatever position you're going to take, you need to have extra capital on the side to potentially dollar cost average. If the position goes down underwater, you're gonna have to dollar cost average. If you do not have the capital to dollar cost average right now, would not be the time to be jumping in. Too bad I'm poor, as we're all poor, man. We're not poor, guys. We are pre-rich. We're not poor. Did Crusader just say XRP? Oh, yes, I said XRP. I don't hold XRP. I don't like XRP, but XRP is a large market cap asset that, contains a lot less risk than some others. But overall, realistically, I do believe XRP can reach $3 to $5 at its all-time highs in this next leg up in the market. But I wouldn't be buying XRP even with a 10-foot pull. But if I had to buy it, I would not be buying at $2. I'd be waiting for XRP to pull back. So let's go take a look at the XRP chart here real quick. I made a video about it this morning. Right, XRP right now is currently on the move to the upside, 228. Probably going to take out some of these targets here within the month of May between 229 to 234. We have some targets. I would be waiting for XRP. If Bitcoin does have the pullback that I've been talking about, I do believe XRP is going to break this support that has been holding since back in December. And we are going to be seeing an XRP at $171 to $144 to $1.44 for XRP. That would be a better area of interest for XRP than above $2. How is the crypto chart looking this week? Well, it depends which one you're looking at. But right now, Bitcoin's looking good. Bitcoin looks like it wants to rally towards 107, potentially 109. Let's see here. Ondo seems interesting, long-time investment. Yeah, 100% Pale Vision. Ondo is definitely a long-term hold. It's one of the biggest real-world asset cryptos out there, working with BlackRock, the Buildo Asset Fund, Securitize. They definitely have a lot of partnerships. Exactly. You're not homeless. You're just traveling. Exactly. You're a nomad, right? You're just traveling. We're not homeless. Let's keep it rocking here. Let's see here. Are we going down tomorrow, or are we bullish? All right. For Bitcoin, I do believe we're going to pump first up to 107, 108, right? And then overall, whether it happens tomorrow or it happens sometime later in the week or into the next week, I do believe Bitcoin's going to start dropping overall down to $96,000. So I am looking to take a short once we start reaching these critical levels of 107 to 109. I'm going to be looking for the rejection, for the reversal signals, right? That's what we're talking about in the Crypto Citadel. As you guys can see in the Crypto Citadel, I did drop a signal on Friday because I thought we were going to get the reversal a lot faster, right? Of between 105 to 106 for a pullback down. And we didn't get the pullback, right? We didn't even get a push all the way up there. We kind of just staggered around the 104 pretty much all day, and we didn't have a lot of volume pulling us back down. Then the weekend came, and obviously there's not enough volume on the weekend to get any type of major breakout or rejection. So therefore, we're waiting for the pullback, right? We're waiting for the rejection between the 107 to 109 to take the short for the long-term swing trade of going down to 96,000. Good morning. How do you see Zebec this week? What's going on? Let's go take a look at Zebec. Zebec it's the new adopted child of the XRP community. Zebec, let's see here. Zebec on the 4 hour. Let's just jump down to the 4 hour. Let me get rid of this little range right here. Zebec overall has just been hovering between 0.0043 and 0.004847. Just been ranging, trying to build support here, creating a little bit of what could be seen as a little bit of a double top pattern here. If this area of support at 0.0043 is lost for Zebec, next targets to the downside are between 0.0036 to 0.0032, which is a gold pocket and a weekly untapped average. That would put us inside the May range as well. So be very aware that that would put us inside the May range, putting us inside the main range. That does lead us to a potential possibility, a larger possibility of dropping down to its point of control, its naked point of control, as a matter of fact, which is an even larger target to the downside of 0.0018. From where we are right now to down here, it is a 59% drop. Down to the gold pocket is another 30% drop. Down to the weekly average is about 20%. And then we have a mid target here around 0.0028. That is a 37% drop from where we are right now. Those are the targets to the downside for Zebec if Zebec loses support and pulls back. Now, if Zebec holds support here and we do have a push back to the upside above 0.0048 and we can hold above the resistance of 0.0052, our target is 0.0060. That is our target to the upside. It's the little local gold pocket from the highs to these current lows. So those are the targets for Zebec right now. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, hanging out with me here on a Sunday morning. We'll probably be doing another Sunday live later tonight around 7 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Around 8 p.m. Eastern time, we will be doing major updates for the Crypto Citadel. Appreciate everybody jumping in. I see here. I know I follow you on X, but I can't find its handle. What am I missing? Oh, my handle on X is B-Chain Crusader because Blockchain Crusader is too long. So it's B-Chain Crusader on X. Appreciate all the support on the YouTube, on the TikTok, on the X, on Instagram, on all the different platforms. Greatly do appreciate the support overall. What assets are you buying now? I'm currently not buying anything, guys. I'm currently not buying anything since I do believe that Bitcoin is going to have a fake rally to the upside between 107 to 109 and then dropping down to 96,000. I'm currently not buying anything of any altcoins. I'm going to be waiting for this drop to happen. And then if we build support here or drop lower, then I will be starting to dollar cost average some more altcoins because altcoins are going to melt. If Bitcoin has this drop, altcoins are going to melt, right? Because if we come up to 107 down to 196, that is a 10.5% drop for Bitcoin. Altcoins are going to easily drop double or triple that. So you're talking about a 20 to 30% drop easy in the altcoins. If Bitcoin drops all the way down to about 89 to $88,000, that's an 18% drop, round up to about 20%. Altcoins are going to drop another 40, 50% from where they are right now. So definitely be looking out for that. And that's when I'm willing to buy. When there's massive panic in the markets, when there's massive pain, that is when I'm looking to buy. I'm not looking to buy right now into the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is still continuing to climb here as well. We're getting a little bit of a little pullback here on the 4-hour, but we're still up in the 64 percentile for Bitcoin dominance. You see this low, higher low, higher low. Well, we need to create a lower low coming down to 63.30% at least, and dropping below that area to start really showing a more of a double top pattern here and a lower high pattern for the Bitcoin dominance. So the Bitcoin dominance can start dropping back down. That would allow for an altcoin season. So we need to be keeping an eye out for that. Somebody's talking about Cardano. Let's go take a look at Cardano. Cardano, guys, everybody in here, we tap those likes, tap those screens, fill up those like meters. Greatly appreciate everybody filling up the like meters. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Mark Dutch in the house. What's going on, man? Appreciate everybody over here showing up. Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Let's take a look here. All right, Cardano. All right, fell out of the May range like almost every other single altcoin, came down to the April range, hit our monthly NPOC of 62 cents, filled our gold pocket, and now we're making our way back up towards the anchored VWAP around 71 cents. We need to get above 73 to get back in the May range. The May range NPOC is at 75 cents. And then overall on the more macro level side, we need to get above 81 and hold. 81 was strong resistance, right? We came up as high as 86 and quickly wicked back down. And we got rejected off 81 again in May 23rd. Had a big SFP right here. Not good. Very large bearish engulfing candle. So we need to stay above 81,000 to really start building some support and consolidation up here, so we can have a larger rally to the upside above 86. We do have some also main resistance here between 94 to $1 and basically $1.02. A lot of resistance in this area. If we can reclaim $1 for Cardano, big target to the upside is 120. Above 120, we're going to be looking for about 150 to 178 for Cardano, but we are quite some ways from that. So right now, main target is getting above 81. After 81 is getting above $1. Once we can get above $1, main target is 120. Let's see here. How do you see Ethereum? All right, let's go take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum overall is having a very strong bounce here, holding up very strong as well. So first we're going to take a look at is the Ethereum ETH versus Bitcoin chart. The ETH versus Bitcoin chart, as you guys can see, has been making a really strong push back to the upside. Look at this thing, guys. Bitcoin versus ETH has been nothing but a massive downtrend since 2022. Since 2022, right? Since all here in 2021, 2022, Ethereum versus Bitcoin has going nothing but down, 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 down. Obviously, we had little spikes here and there, but nothing major. Right now, we're starting to see some real, price action back to the upside and consolidation of support to the upside here. Not just a quick spike and then a drop back down. Our targets are to continue climbing higher. The higher we see this climb up, the higher we're going to see Ethereum outperform Bitcoin, which is showing strength in the altcoins, showing strength in a larger altcoin season. So jumping to the actual Ethereum chart, don't mind all the 1,000 yellow lines here. This thing is just littered with targets all over the place, which is a huge mess. But overall, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this little gold pocket. All right. Get rid of this daily MPOC. Get rid of this one as well. All right. So right now, we've already hit our targets for May, right? We came down here to the value area low of May, came around 2,400, 23 something. We bounced back into the May range. We're still holding very strong here. Compared to a lot of other altcoins have fallen out of the May range, right? But we have such a big move from April to May that we're building a lot of consolidation up here, which is very good for Ethereum to show this level of strength and resilience to Bitcoin dropping. Now, we've hit the targets for May already, right? The daily MPOC and the monthly MPOC between 25.87. We need to critically get above 27.11. As you guys can see here, when we came up, in the month of May. On the 13th, rejected. On the 14th, rejected. 20th and 23rd, rejected. 27th and 29th, rejected again off 27.11. We have not closed a single daily candle above $2,711, right? Very critical that we close daily candles above that area and hold it for Ethereum. If we can, we're going to be re-entering our next zone here of interest, which is between 2,900 to 3,100. Not only do we have a gold pocket up here, let's get the gold pocket again because I must have accidentally deleted it. Getting the gold pocket from this top to this low, boom, puts the gold pocket exactly in the midst of all these targets to the upside. So once we can get above 27, our next big area is going to be 29 to 3,100, which I do expect a pullback from. I do expect us to go in there, potentially get a rejection, maybe come back down to 2,700, retest this area as support before pushing up higher, since this is such a main area of resistance right now. So I do expect Ethereum to break through 29. I do expect a rejection somewhere around 3,100. We have a lot of targets up here, you know, weekly averages, daily averages. We have the yearly pivot, and we have the macro gold pocket from its local high to its local bottom. So I do expect a rejection, potentially down to 2,700, retest, right? And then once we can get above 3,100, Ethereum's main targets are basically back at $4,000. $4,000. All of 2024 was a rejection zone. So massive resistance, right? Back in March of 2024, we got rejected. In May of 2024, we front ran and we came up as high as 3,900, front ran 4,000 and pulled back. In December, December 2 times, December 6th and December 17th, got rejected from $4,000 again and pulled back. If we can flip 3,100, right, our next area is going to be 4,000. This is going to be very critical for Ethereum. If we can flip above 4,000, we are going to be running for the all-time high. And then from there, it's going to be off to the races. Obviously, you know, new all-time highs, price discovery, all that shebang. But getting above 4,000 is very critical. But before we get there, we do have some big levels like this $2,700 and $3,100 area for Ethereum. Everyone's buying because the ETF and Fed's not gonna happen. That's when it's gonna crash. I don't know what you're trying to say there exactly, Papi Chulo. But overall, yeah, I'm not buying into the hype of the ETFs. The ETFs are not going to be massively bullish for altcoins until like staking is really available, right? That's going to be the big game changer for the Ethereum ETFs. It's the fact that they're going to be able to, the traditional finance market is going to actually be able to buy Ethereum and hold it long term because they're going to be making a yield off of it. Until that yield isn't available, there isn't really a massive demand for institutions to go buy Ethereum versus Bitcoin. They can just buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's outperforming Ethereum anyways. They're not just going to buy Ethereum because Ethereum is cheaper, right? They want something that's performing or that is generating some type of yield. And once Ethereum can generate that yield on the ETFs, then traditional finance is going to be a lot more interested in actually buying it and holding it for the long term, which is in turn going to lead to this potential major rally into the ending of 2025, maybe deep into 2026, second to third quarter of 2026, before another major pullback. But we will see. Ricky Ricardo, why hasn't the creator of Bitcoin come out and met with Mr. Cheeto himself yet? Guys, they've already met. It's Elon Musk, guys. It's Elon Musk. The creator of Bitcoin is Elon Musk. Come on, you guys know this. You guys know this. Thoughts on XRP movement the past few days, bullish or no? Right now has definitely been a bit of a bullish momentum for XRP. Let's go take a look at the XRP chart here real quick. Once again, we covered XRP a little while ago, but yeah, right now we're bouncing off the support zone, right? This support zone here between $2.10 to $1.95. We've currently bounced back in to the May range. Targets are between 229 to 234. But overall, we need to get above 242 to really show strength for XRP to make a run for this macro gold pocket of 277. But this is going to be dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin pulls back, like I think it might, between 107 and 109 down to 96,000, I do believe XRP is going to blow past this support zone and come down to about 171 to 144. Diamond, yeah, I know that on TikTok you can't see my chart. It's, you know, it's just one of those things. Eventually I'll be able to set up the studio live where you might be able, or you will be able to see it. But for the meantime, you can't. I don't have access to that. Appreciate everybody in here tapping those likes, sharing out the live stream. No problem, Diamond. Diamond is a member of the Crypto Citadel in the house. Good to see you, brother. Let's see here. Let's see if I'm missing anybody else in the chat. Chat looks pretty good. I think I've pretty much hit almost everybody. I assume you will post next week when you think the drop is imminent. Alex, yes, I will be posting about the drop when, obviously, in the Crypto Citadel, we're following it very closely. To the Crypto Citadel is well aware, as I always update them first before making any information public. So they have the most time to react to what's happening in the markets. After the Crypto Citadel knows sometime after, oops, did not mean to do that. Sometime after that, I will be able to eventually make some content and let you guys know publicly when I think the drop is happening. But I'm telling you guys right now, I do believe, oh gosh, I keep moving everything on the chart. I do believe a drop between 107 to 109 is going to happen down to 96,000. Somewhere around this area, we're going to get rejected and the bulls are going to get trapped. That's just my thesis. Could be completely wrong. We could just blast off to 125, but we will see. We will see. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hanging out with me on a Sunday morning. Like I said, I will be going live again later tonight around Sunday, today, around 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Once again, so appreciate everybody coming out. Let's see here, make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. All right, guys, appreciate everybody coming. Oh, Diamond has a question. One question: why don't we go along with leverage up to 106, 109? Thanks, buddy. We definitely can, right? There is a possibility where we could just take the long from this breakout to 107 to potentially 109. But the risk is that, you know, we might get the pullback first. I still don't know what the new weekly data looks like. So tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, once we get the new weekly data, the new weekly average, we see what the new previous day low looks like. You know, we get a new analysis of what the new week could potentially be looking like. Then I will have a better idea of like, okay, maybe we'll take the long, ride it to the upside, right? Are we on some strong support here and ride it to the upside? And if we see that tonight at 8 p.m., I will definitely be letting you guys know in the Crypto Citadel about potentially taking the long to the upside before jumping into the short. Another thing is sometimes you also just don't want to over trade, right? You don't want to take too many trades here and there. It requires a lot more risk management along the way. Sometimes it's just better to wait for the big move. But we'll see. We'll analyze the data tonight when it comes out. We'll get the new weekly data, and we'll keep an eye on if this long to the upside is valid and potential to take it. So definitely we'll let you guys know in the Crypto Citadel. Like always, guys, until next time, see ya.